5 W's, 2 H's. What is 5 W's, 2 H's? Okay. It's an acronym for 7 questions that will define a process or an action plan. Now, before talking about anything else, let's define what those letters mean. First of all, we have the who. Who in which means responsibility. Then we have the what, the action. Then where. Where is it? The location. When? The schedule. Then, and this is really important, you need to remember the why, because the why is the justification about this. Now we have the 2 H's, and the 2 H's are the same. There are the question how. Now, how is how for method, and then we have how for how much or how often. In this can be cost or frequency. Why is it important, or why is it used? First of all, it eliminates ambiguity. Okay, this will answer the question by moving from a vague idea into a concrete plan. For example, that machine needs to be fixed. Okay, that isn't a vague idea. Now, the concrete plan is this person each 4 weeks will need to change the filter of this machine. We pass from a vague idea into a concrete plan in order to solve something. Okay, this will help to save time, to reduce communication errors, and ensure accountability. Origin and current use. Whilst its roots is traced back to the classical rhetoric, its industrial application was popularized by Toyota and also lean manufacturing during the post-Second World War. Now, the current use is used for a lot of people, that it's the staple for project managers, industrial engineers, and then in quality control teams globally around all sectors, from software developers until to logistics. Key concepts. First of all, we have how much, the cost. Remember, focuses on budget requirements. Then we have how many, the frequency. This focuses on the volume or how much time do we need to repeat a task. Then, as I mentioned earlier, and you need to remember that it was really important, the why. Why? Because it's the core. If you cannot justify why an action, it might be a waste or a moda. So the why is really important in this. Main steps to execute. We have 5 main steps to execute these things. First of all, we need to identify the problem. We need to define the objective clearly. Next, we need to gather the team. We need to gather the team to ensure who is present. Then, the third one, we need to brainstorm, we need to draft, we need to answer these 7 questions that I already told you, and they're really essential in order to find what we need to do next. Then we need to review. We need to ensure how is feasible and when is realistic. Then and finally, distribute. Share the resulting matrix with shareholders. Which tools are used or equipment required? There is not a lot of tools that you need. You just need time, and basically that's it. You can use also, like, I don't know, Excel or Google Sheets, but there are not that many tools that you need. It's really easy. Real world example. We need to improve a production line. Okay, follow me. First of all, what? Implement a Poka-Yoke device on the assembly jig. Why do we need to implement this Poka-Yoke? To reduce 5% deflect rate caused by misaligned parts.
The data here shows
the maintenance department. Okay, where? In the, I don't know, assembly line tree. When? During the scheduled downtime in the next week. How? By installing physical guides that only allows the part to fit in one orientation. And then How much? 500 US dollars for the materials and 4 man hours. And rivalries. Connections. It almost always used alongside the Plan-Do-Check Act, also Kaizen and Six Sigma. Rivals. It isn't an exact rival to the tool, but rather a simple alternative to complex Gantt charts or critical path method for smaller and more intermediate tasks. Now, what is the implementation cost versus benefit? This is extremely cheap because you don't need that much tools. As I mentioned earlier, you just need time spending in thinking about what to do. Now, the ROI. The ROI is alongside outweigh the cost because 10 minutes thinking about or using the 5Ws, 2Hs can prevent a lot of cost in scrap or anything. You just need time to think about it, 10 minutes, and those 10 minutes will be so helpful. So this is really important, it's really cheap, and the cost, there's no cost, outweighs the anything. Okay, the benefit outweighs the cost. Standard and codes. There is no ISO blah 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 5W2H, but it's recognized as a practice under the ISO 901 and for documented information and operational control. How to become an expert? Basically, how to become an expert is mastering by applying daily. This will help you to identify many things, and that's how you can be a master in this. Troubleshooting. Is it working? Measurement. The track of completion rate of action and the reduction in errors. Failure signs. If the who doesn't know where it is assigned or when it's constantly missed, the tool isn't being communicated well. Improvement. If it fails, use the 5 whys to find the root cause of the planning failure.